Good morning and welcome to WWDC 2018. Today is all about software, and we've got some very exciting updates across all 4 platforms. We're going to get started with iOS.
Well, our next big release of iOS is, you guessed it, iOS 12. Now, iOS 12 will be available on all the same devices as iOS 11. It starts with augmented reality. We got together with some of the greatest minds in 3D at Pixar, and together we created a new file format for AR. It's called USDZ.
Here we have Assembly Square. It's one of our LEGO creator sets. Well now, with 3D object detection, we get to recognize our models and bring them to life. And just look at all of those rich details we can now bring into our sets. Because when we combine physical and digital together like this, it really opens up those creative play possibilities.
With a new feature we call shortcuts.
We start in the gallery, where there's hundreds of pre-made shortcuts that you can download, or we can hop over to the library, and I've got a bunch of shortcuts here, but I want to show you my heading home shortcut. You can see that it's just really a series of steps. It grabs my location and my travel time, and it sends my ETA to my roommate. It sets my HomeKit thermostat to 70 degrees, and it turns on my fan. And last, it gets directions home with Apple Maps with the best route to avoid traffic. Now, this is already pretty cool, but I happen to be an NPR News junkie, so I should probably just add that to my shortcut to save me some trouble on the ride home. Let's tap Search, and there's a bunch I can add here, but I can just tap Siri Suggestions, and there it is, Play KQED Radio. We'll drag this in, drop it, and we're set. I've already added this shortcut to Siri with the custom phrase heading home, so now, whenever I leave work, I can just say, heading home.
You will get there in 1 hour. I sent a message to Cheryl. Your thermostat is set to 70 degrees, and I turned on the fan, playing KQED radio.
And it's with a feature we call Screen Time. Screen Time empowers you with both insight and control over how you spend your time. It's really detailed. You get deep insight on how much time you're spending, where you're spending it, and even how your use breaks down during the day or the night. But we know there are people who would like a little extra help in managing their use of apps. And for them, we've created app limits. So if in your activity report, you see an app where you might want to be spending a little bit less time, well, you can set your own limit. So I'm thrilled today to announce the arrival of the era of Memoji. These Animoji can look like you or the real you. And we've worked hard to build a deep set of customization options to let our customers create an incredibly diverse set of Memoji. It's really incredible what you can create. Now, this year, FaceTime is going to take a big leap forward because today we're introducing Group FaceTime. To FaceTime with 2 people, 3 people, actually up to 32 simultaneous participants.
We're excited to introduce watchOS 5 today.
So all these new features, activity competitions, the new yoga and hiking workout, new features for runners and automatic workout detection are all enabling you to more accurately track your workouts and stay motivated while you do.
Next up is Apple TV.
In fact, Apple TV 4K is the only streaming player to be both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos certified.
Excited to take Mac a huge leap forward. The next version of macOS is chock full of new features inspired by pro users, but designed for everyone.
Our next release of macOS is macOS Mojave. And I'd like to show you a new side of Mojave. We call it dark mode. I want to turn to some great enhancements to Safari, because Safari works really hard to protect your privacy, and this year it's working even harder. Well, we've all seen these like buttons and share buttons, and these comment fields. Well, it turns out these can be used to track you, whether you click on them or not. And so this year, we are shutting that down. Want to interact with one of these, or one of these apps tries to access that information? You'll get this, and you can decide to keep your information private. Let's talk about fingerprinting. You know, data companies are clever and relentless. And in addition to cookies, they use another method called fingerprinting. And here's how it works. Just like you can be identified by a fingerprint, it turns out that when you browse the web, your device can be identified by a unique set of characteristics, like its configuration, its fonts that you have installed, and the plugins that you might have on the device. And these data companies can use this set of characteristics to construct a unique fingerprint to track your device from site to site. With Mojave, we're making it much harder for trackers to create a unique fingerprint. We're presenting web pages with only a simplified system configuration. We show them only built-in fonts. And legacy plugins are no longer supported, so those can't contribute to a fingerprint. And as a result, your Mac will look more like everyone else's Mac, and it will be dramatically more difficult for data companies to uniquely identify your device and track you.
The updates will be available to our users this fall, and there will be developer betas for each of them after the keynote this morning. Thank you.